Hello, everybody. It's day two of Parkinson's month. Just want to thank everybody that responded to my video. It was my first one. Again, I'm overwhelmed by the support of the community, and I even had contacts from my elementary school days in Framingham, Massachusetts, and junior high school in Alexandria, Virginia, all the fellow military brats, and some of the guys I served in the Guard with, and Blackwater Fellows. And I tell you, I'm completely overwhelmed by the support and love and shared uh, courtesy of social media. And I just want to take a little bit of your time to talk to you about Parkinson's and some of the things that we like to call ourselves Parkies um, encounter during a day. And I'm speaking from what occurred with me, not as a means of trying to gain further support about my my journey, but to bring the awareness of what many of us go through. What I want to confess is that some of the speech breaks you hear where I talk and my words die off, that was much worse many months ago, and I can't say enough to Lori McKee, my speech therapist and longtime friend. I owe Lori a lot, and I will never be able to repay what she did for me, taking me for the dark place of mumbling and speech breaks and lost phonation and dysphagia and dystonia. And now I'm able to communicate quite well, teach in the classroom, speak with my friends. I don't mumble as much. And um, once I got my speech back, she brought a smile uh, back to my face at a time that I really needed that. Uh, Another thing is my organizational skills. I used to see myself as a pretty good assistant principal. As David Allen taught me a lot about being an assistant principal and being a team administrator. You know, I learned so many things from Megan Fuller, and when Elsa Feaster was on board, and from the first day that Eli stepped on campus, we just gelled, and every day was a wonderful learning experience. And as my Parkinson's progressed, and I didn't want to face it, I saw my organizational skills start to dwindle. I'd have to stay after work longer and longer hours at night to just do what used to be seemingly very easy. Um, I became very frustrated with myself and agitated, and then I started losing my hand coordination, motor skills. And for a former wrestling coach and athletic trainer, losing your motor skills in your hands was quite daunting. At the same time, I was on the board of trustees at Limestone, and they were just blessed me with that opportunity, and continued to to work with me on the board and allow me to contribute and be part of that community, and I'm forever indebted. They gave me a break when I came out of high school I wasn't an academic giant. They gave me a break and then allowed me to continue to stay in touch with Limestone over the years. And then now I'm on faculty, and hiring somebody with known Parkinson's and having some of the limitations that we have as we um, become a different person uh, during our disease process. I can't thank them enough. Wow, all these folks here join this cast. It's not a podcast, a live video. Wow, EJ, Semper Fi, brother, and my brother, fraternity brother Bob, Bolin, Charlie, best ponytail in public education. Sergeant Carroll, Sergeant Pancake, you're great, man. Cindy, one of the best athletic trainers ever stepped off that field as a student, and I'll never forget the many things you did to start that program. Um, thank you, Bill. As time went on, we went through a lengthy diagnostic process, and Dr. Klein and I know her as Becky Hall, and one of George Hall's lovely daughters, and she and Dr. Klein worked together to really pinpoint what was going on with me. And I really thought maybe I was starting to develop some dementia. Um, and they assured me right off the bat that we weren't going down that road because I was having some memory issues as well. But because of their dedication to medicine and to me as a patient and to my family, and they did a great job and started me on a long, long road of adjusting medications and times and activity sets and concern about my diet and all phases of my health. And I'm forever indebted to them, and I appreciate what Dr. Klein and Becky have done for me, and constantly looking out for me and helping me along the way. And as I mentioned earlier, Lori McKee, God bless her, she's she's got to be the best speech therapist that there is in North Carolina, easy. And the Lee Silverman program and what she did with my speech and my swallowing, and I'm sure that as time goes on, we'll probably continue to see each other intermittently. But as I ramble here, you're always thanking people because living in Shelby is such a golden place, and um, the community always comes together to support those who need help, but at the same time, the appreciative things that have been expressed my way about what we did with athletic training during my tenure there. I want to set the record straight. It wasn't me that did that. It was the kids and the students that took that program and made it their own. And oddly enough, several of my caregivers who wish to remain anonymous, see, I can't say that word. Worry, I'm coming back. Anonymous uh, uh, have been my caregivers, and God bless them. And I'm so appreciative of that. But get back to the Parkinson's thing. I just want to. I got a little show and tell today. I always did well in school in show and tell, and these are some of the utensils that we use. And as you can see, the handles are thicker, and they're weighted, and they have balance points. The nice thing about them is that when your hands don't close all the way, as mine won't do sometimes, and you have the shakes, the tremors, I'm sorry, incorrect term, the tremors, they hold fast in your hand, and they have a resting point. And this is really helpful when your hands are swollen from your medications and when you're having trouble getting your food in your mouth because you're chasing your food if you have a tremor. And these have just been um, I'm still learning how to work the camera here, a wonderful modification in my life. And at the same time, they're great conversation pieces when people that you sit with at lunch or at supper are not familiar with Parkinson assistive aids. And so we talk about them. And I appreciate the folks that have gone into the engineering aspect of biomedical engineering and created such wonderful devices. This is actually a two-sided nidus serrated edge, and then a blunt end for using and cutting, like with soft gels like butter, jelly, those kind of things. Additionally, I want to take a shout out to the Cobra buckles that you see on some of the special operations and tactical belts. Those are just the most wonderful thing for people that have motor issues with their hands. And as you see, my hands are speckled with paint, but at the same time, they're swollen, as you can see, and that reduces the range of motion. A lot of times that's caused by your medication. Stay on track. After my diagnosis, I did the best I can at working at Shelby High School, and then um, one day it was just having a terrible day, and went to see my caregivers, and they determined it was time for me to, as we would say, David, go to the barn. And I went and met with the administrative staff, and we had our moment together. And then, God bless David. He said, Doc, I don't want to see you till 10 o'clock. And thanks for saving me, David. That allowed me to rest and then come in and do the job that I'd always promised you I'd do. And then that June I retired. One door shuts, another one opens. And, Megan Fuller always said that. Uh, Actually, the day that I learned that I wasn't going to be retiring from the school system, I got a call from Limestone. And I'll go into that later on in my next 28 days. As I mentioned, about the uh, utensils, other things that are quite difficult as you advance at your stages is getting dressed and, combing your hair, um, and then asking people for assistance because your pride, it kind of leaves you. You lose your dignity a little bit and see yourself diminish. And, I'm not the person I used to be. And, you start having to, feel you're sorry for yourself, start going down that rabbit hole. And, I remember what Christy Morgan said. And I've known Christy since she was, I think it was in middle school. And she said it best. And everybody take this to heart. Christy said, Doc, we can do anything they can. We just do it slower. And you know what? She was spot on right there. And Christy has overcome far more than anybody I know has ever overcome. Definitely I will ever overcome it. Every day she gets up, manages a household, and goes to work and teaches kids all day long. And, there's nothing holding her back. And she was and still is my inspiration. And I know for a fact that if I ever hit that hard point, and I can pick up that phone, call her, and we'll have that talk about, we can do the same thing they do. We just do it slower. Uh, she's an incredible person, and I just love her and miss her. And the students that have Miss Morgan, you're blessed. And finally, I'll close this out here in a couple minutes. The other thing I'd like to say about Parkinson's that just comes to mind because I'm kind of an impromptu person is that every single day of the week you lose something. And it can be as simple as manipulating your toothpaste onto your toothbrush. It can be combing your hair, or it takes more time for you to get dressed, to get ready to go to work. And the agitation that you feel is not with people that are around you, it's with yourself because you feel in your mind that you're becoming a burden and that you are taking away from their time and that, this wasn't in the deal that you made. And, this isn't fair. And, life's not fair. And, you just got to daggum, as my good friend Jay Cox would say, you just got to range her up, man. And, um, by God, you just rock up and move out. And, you drag your feet, and you pick them up, and get your service dog and go to work. And you stay fresh and read coloring books and forget a Rubik's cube though, boy. That's that's a booger. I can't get the color straight. I can't manipulate the squares, but I'll attack that thing every day, and it beats me to death. But I miss shagging, dancing with my wife. We used to be pretty good at that. We'll try it again sometime soon. Uh, you know, I just I don't want anybody to feel sorry for what I've lost. Um, I just want you to be aware of what our world is like. So when you are around somebody and you see their hand shake and you hear their voices change and you see the difficulty they're going through getting their food in their mouth when they're in the advanced stages, and when you see somebody bend over and they shuffle their feet, um, I want you to understand that they know they're different. They know that they're not what they used to be, and for them to get out and to move and go and try and be in society, that's the mark of somebody can handle a challenge. And at the same time, as you go through this process, which could, I'm planning on going to 104. Um, it's an inspiration to be around other folks with disabilities. And like I said, excuse me for sniffling there. My good friend Buddy Ramey, most know he's got MS. Man, there's nobody tougher than Buddy. And we link up and walk the mall and talk. And he's out sick a while, and then as soon as he's ready to ruck up and go again, he texts me and says, "Hey, Doc, let's get together." So we're going to be hitting the mall circuit again. Um, I'd like to thank everybody that listens to my rambles. I'd like to thank everybody that supports me and my family. God bless, God bless America and all of our soldiers, sailor, airmen, Marines, and coasties that serve. And folks, always remember when you go to sleep at night, we got law enforcement riding the highways, keeping us safe, and EMS ready to come in at a moment's notice. And I want to shout out to give a give a word of sorrow to our lost saint, um, Sharon Lane Downey passed away today unexpectedly. She was a gem, true Southern lady, beautiful smile. She was a nurse, and the last time I saw Sharon, um, I saw her at Pam Melton Castle's house during the alumni weekend, and she was just magnificent. And we'll pray for you and your family, and know that you're in God's hands now, and that you feel no more pain. And we'll miss you forever, Sharon. We'll never forget you. Folks, y'all have a great evening. Love you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.